Hi, welcome to another lesson in After Effects. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to add some additional text to the logo and also how to add some effects to the logo. Let's start by double-clicking the pink balloon logo here in the project panel, which is going to open this logo up as its own composition. As you recall, the pink balloon logo is a composition in itself that's nested within the main composition called Balloon Rides. So first, let's add some text. Click on the horizontal type tool and click anywhere in the composition. And let's type in Balloon Rides. Now we'll click and drag across the text to select it. And over here in the character panel, we can change the font if we like. I'll try Myriad Pro. And we can keep it as bold condensed, or we could go to semi-bold. I think bold condensed looks pretty good. Now you can also change the color of this text. And there's several ways to do that, but the quickest way, if you wanted to match a color in your logo, is to click on this eyedropper tool right next to the name of the font. If you had a lot of different colors here, you could click on any of them, but let's keep it simple. We'll just click on the pink balloon. So now the text has become pink. We can click on the selection tool and drag this up here. Also notice that down here in the timeline, you have a new layer. So as we know, when we imported this Illustrator file last time, it had 3 layers, string, balloon, and crop area. Now we've added a 4th layer called Balloon Rides when we typed in the text. So if we go back to the Balloon Rides main composition, we see this has been added. It's a little crooked, but move that up here. And now we can add some effects to this. We click on the pink balloon logo down here in the timeline. And there are 2 different ways to add effects. Now we know we've used this before, effects and presets, but I want to show you that there is another way. You can go up to the top of your screen, click Effect, and in this case we're going to scroll down to Perspective. We're going to add a drop shadow to the logo. So you see now a drop shadow has been added. Up here in the Effects Controls panel, you can change certain things, like you could change the distance if you want to make this more extreme. You could change the opacity to make it either more or less opaque, depending on your tastes. Just leave it somewhere in the middle. You could change the softness. Now this one, if we go over here, it's going to be basically disappear. It's too soft, so we're going to leave it down here at 0. So yeah, you can add any of these effects and play around with the controls and see what comes of it. But let's add another effect now. Let's be sure that we're clicked on our logo down here in the timeline. Then we'll go to Effects and Presets up here. All of these have these little arrows next to them, which open new menus of new things you can add. So let's click on the little triangle next to Stylize. And let's add a Color Emboss effect. This is a rather subtle effect, but it's going to add a little black line to the top of the balloon and the top of the text. So watch for that. You can add it in 2 ways. You can either click and drag it directly onto the composition, or you could drag it down onto the timeline. So let's pop it on here, and you see there's now a subtle black line that kind of goes around and matches the drop shadow that we added previously, and the same on the text. And once again up here, you can change the contrast, you can blend it with the original, and you can change the direction as well, which is interesting. And relief. Now relief is the one that's going to either sharpen, make this black line more intense or less intense. So we want to see it, but we don't want it to be too distracting. So let's keep it about there. So that's a way to add effects to logos. In the next lesson, I'm going to show you how to add animation presets to this. But for now, we'll save it here, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.